Soul Garden.
Hello, welcome to the weekly Love and Lust Report. I'm your host, Christopher Witecki. And since this weekend is mostly filled with holiday parties, I thought I might usurp my usual programming to give you a gift guide for the signs. That's right. Papa Bear Taurus, who's a master of what is material, will help you buy the perfect gift for your loved one. Let's first start with the fire signs, shall we? Now, here's the thing with the fire signs. It's more about the experience of the gift than it is the actual gift. So you definitely want to do a big drum roll leading up to it. Yes, you want to hide the gift somewhere cool, and yes, you want to bring a camera. That is for all fire signs. But let's start first with the air eye. Now, Aries's may seem hard to buy for because they're impulsive and they buy things for themselves as soon as they want. One of the biggest guides to buying for the air eye is it has to be the first, the biggest, the longest. You get what I say. But here are the two ingredients that are most important for an Aries gift. One, it must make them feel valuable. They must feel like the sharpest one on the block, the smartest one. Those superlatives really pay off. Can you buy diamels? Yes, if they don't know what diamels are, because that's not what it's about. It's all about the flash. And the second quality is it must make them feel like royalty. They want a gift that makes them feel special, number one. And that's what it's all about. So you can do world's greatest dad kind of mugs, or you can even do I'm with stupid, as long as they're the one that gets that shirt. Now the Leos. Leos are a little different. They're actually very difficult to buy for because a Leo buys everything they want for themselves. They will even go into debt. It's not uncommon to find a Leo full of wonderful clothes in their closet and debt. But there are two ingredients to buy for the royalty. The first is it must be custom made. Anything manufactured is throwing out the door. They'll hand it to their maid or some of their support staff. It definitely needs to be unique and custom made. And secondly, it must come with a story. That's a little secret people don't know about Leos, is inside their minds, they're like a gay Disney movie. They're always singing love songs. They love a story tied to a product. So you can actually get away with fake dog poop if it's the fake dog poop you both bought together on your first date. That's what it needs. You need a story with the royalty. And the Sagittarius is actually who have explored the earth and seen and done it all. Hard to buy for, you might think, but not so. Don't hold up too hard, because the Sagittarius will actually respect anything handcrafted or well designed. So they will tour the earth, but when they find something that's got an ingenious aspect to it, they love it. And secondly, it must be very personal. So you can get away with something you get out of a thrift store with a Sagittarius if it is well made and it's very special and tied to them. So more hard to deal with, but when you pull it off, a Sag just beams. Now let's move on to some of the harder signs to buy for, the earth signs. The earth signs are difficult because, well, they rule the earth. They've already seen the product. They probably made the product. That's the problem with the earth signs, but there is a formula to each of the signs. As long as it makes life better. That's the big clue. Let's start with the pulls, probably the biggest ones to buy for, right? Well, for Tauruses, believe it or not, step one is it must be a great idea. It must be something unique, something they haven't thought of, which is difficult because Tauruses do a lot of thinking all the time. And the second thing is it must fit perfectly into their life. So if you've got some bull out there who's themed their whole life off of copper and tan in their house, and you buy them a bright red something, they're not going to like it. It's got to fit within everything. It's got to fit perfectly. It makes them hard to buy for, but also easy to buy for, because if you know that Papa Taurus likes beef jerky, all you got to do is buy the right jerky. Not too hard to pull off there. Now the Virgos. You might think Virgos are really hard to buy for because they're so meticulous and so detail-oriented. But because they're such hard critics of life, actually it's kind of easy to make them feel warm. Because you can surprise them, especially if it's a different direction. Now here's the formula to buy for a Virgo. It must first be beautiful in their eyes. Now that's the hardest thing to find for a Virgo, something they find beautiful. You better study that Virgo, you better watch what art they buy, etc. But it must be beautiful in their eyes. And Virgos are so practical and so accepting, you know, a painted bottle cap could be beautiful in their eyes if that's part of their life. But the other thing is, it must give them greater control over their life. Aha! So they want a bottle cap that is priceless. They want something that's going to get them ahead. They want something that's going to give them greater control. And believe it or not, for those of you who are on a budget, yes, if you buy your Virgo husband a shoe organizer, he'll get excited as long as it's a pretty shoe organizer and it alphabetizes at his shoes and helps him get him in control. Then there are the Capricorns. Now Capricorns often have a lot of money, they have power. When they want something, they buy it. You're always concerned about what they're going to think, and so they're not so easy to buy for. But here is the secret formula to the goats. First of all, the gift must be innovative. It has to be something no one else has, something done better, something interesting, something unique, something that surprises them. A surprise to a Capricorn is awesome because they're not usually surprised. So an innovative gift. And secondly, kind of common Capricorn, it must build more value. So if they're not going to put it on their home insurance policy, forget it. It has to be something that builds more value in their life. It has to be something that makes them feel richer. You always do well with platinum and gold and anything that has a high price tag with Capricorns, but make sure it's an innovative gold, the new platinum, etc. Now let's move on to the sign that is probably the sappiest during the holidays, the water signs. Yes, they get choked up more than any of the signs for all the holidays, even the 4th of July, but this one is a little bit more important than usual, the gift-giving season. Let's start with the principle of making every water sign happy. It's the feelings you invoke. So when you buy a present for a water sign, don't buy the gift, buy the feeling it's going to create. That is the secret to making them happy. Let's start with the sappiest, the Cancers. Now Cancers are kind of actually easy to buy for if you love them, because the first quality for a crab is it has to be from the heart. It has to show something you love them. So you can get away with buying that Cancer a blender if your heart is trying to make their life easier. Aha! You can get away with practical gifts. So as long as you are loving them and they can see your love for them, you've won. Doesn't matter what the price tag is. But something if you really want to hit it out of the park, crabs want to feel special. So if you buy them a blender, it better be the best blender on the block so she can go and brag to Wilma and Betty and everyone about how amazing this blender is. It has to be something that separates them from the other household people, so to speak. And that counts for men too. You want to buy him a shaver? Buy him a gold-plated one with his name on it. Now, the Scorpios, I know there's a lot of jokes that come up. First of all, never buy a Scorpio a sexual gift. That's one way to get out of the house really quickly. They've seen and done it all, so forget it. I know it's stereotypical, but don't do it. First of all, the Scorpio, you probably don't know this because Scorpios are so closed-minded, but that's the whole thing, or at least closed with the gifts. They actually seek gifts that open their mind. So if you give a Scorpio something they've never seen before, you've already won. Doesn't matter how much you've spent. And they will spend endless amounts of money on you. You know it. So you better put some thought into it. And the other quality that is important to a Scorpio is it has to be a gift that helps them feel good. They want to feel good. All the water signs want to feel something. Scorpios want to feel good. They want to feel peaceful. So you can get away actually buying a Scorpio those fuzzy slippers if it makes them feel good, as long as the slippers are some sort of cool slipper built or made by hand by someone across the seas. Again, it has to open their mind and make them feel good. And the Pisces, now Pisces are actually very loving, giving gift givers as well if they have money. And receiving gifts is great for them too. They love to receive. Now here's the secret formula to buy a gift for a Pisces. One, it must be very personal. They actually want things to be very personal. They spend their lives roaming the earth, telling everyone to connect to God. So when it comes to giving them a gift, you better give them something that really hits home, something that is clearly you know who they are and what they want. And the second thing is, it has to be something that helps them grow or nurture themselves. They like the things that make them feel like kids again. They like the simple things. Their mind is high up in the cosmos, so it has to be personal and it has to help them grow. I guess Viagra would count. Then, moving on to the air signs. Now, air signs are a little different because it has to be an appropriate and a smart gift if they're an air sign. Appropriate and smart. If it's not appropriate or smart, they don't know what to do with it. Definitely with air signs, you want to give them that gift receipt because air signs will take it back. Let's start first with the Geminis. Now, Geminis, as airy as they are, as intellectual as they are, they actually like really soft, warm, fuzzy bunny kind of gifts. They like very caring gifts. They like the earmuffs and the hats and the scarves and the things that make them feel really good. Anything that's caring for a Gemini and obvious where you put thought into it, you're going to win. And secondly, it must fit perfectly in their life. So don't buy a Gemini some big, huge picture, even though it's a picture of something they want, if you don't know where it's going to fit on their wall. If it doesn't fit in their house, don't get it. They will return it. It's important. Their houses are always meticulously carved out, so you want to buy them things that fit in their life. Now the Librans. Librans are actually great gift givers, probably the best in the zodiac, honestly, but also kind of have that same judgment on others. Important thing for number one is a Libra wants an intimate gift. They're always being objective. But if you can get them something very personal, very intimate, yes, Victoria's Secret definitely counts, gentlemen. Those types of things, they prefer the intimate things. And secondly, they like innovative things. They want the new Victoria's Secret bar, the one that does cool magical things. They want innovative and they want personal. So that's how you get to a Libra. And then lastly, they are the Aquarians. Now, Aquariuses, I left for the last because they are weird birds, right? Kooky, kind of strange. What would you buy for them? You're not going to believe it, but Aquariuses actually are pretty easy to sucker with a good gift. On the one hand, it must be spiritual. Really? Yeah. You know those kind of posters that have a word and just a weird picture? Aquarius probably fall for that. They actually go for the spiritual, bring it up, hold your chin up, keep going, hang in there, that weird cat thing you used to see in the 70s. That's Aquarius. They're always out there preaching that way. So get them something spiritual and get them something that communicates a message. A gift without a message to Aquarius is worthless. It has to have some sort of thought that it invokes. All right, folks, well, have fun in all of your gift-giving holiday parties this week, and I'll be back in 1 week to talk about the best choices for New Year's Eve. And if you give someone a rotten gift after this episode, there's no help for you. Until next week, live, love, be.